in terms of negotiating, if I had to say the first thing that led towards me doing better at negotiating and doing better at getting good deals, I would have to say is got it all, the mother had no carnal place. Yeah, and it's amazing, yeah. Getting paper, yeah. Doing what I love, yeah. What's good, y'all? It's your boy rarekiqs, man. We back. We back with the great series, How to Make a Living Reselling. I just show you guys how I made a living reselling, and I try to, you know what I'm saying, provide the best advice I can so you can do the same thing I did. Like I said, my advice could be wrong, could be bad, it could be amazing. It depends on you, how you take it. If you think my advice is good, I think you should listen to it and use it in your life, you know, while you're reselling too. I'm not trying to flex or anything, but I started out the video in the showroom just to show you guys I do actually resell. I do actually make 6 figures doing this. And you know what I'm saying? We do our taxes. We take care of all that too. So it's official business over here. Got my LLC, rarekiqs LLC. You see, I have a lot of pairs. I probably have over like 150. I had over 200 pairs in my inventory, but then I let go of some pairs recently for a sneaker event, which I did cash out on. And the video is coming soon. I'm shipping some pairs back from Atlanta for that. But this episode is on negotiating. So welcome. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on this. This is one of the most crucial things about reselling. So I'm going to give you guys just the straight up secrets and everything that most people hide and don't share with people about negotiating that I had to learn the hard way about. I can tell you guys now, so hopefully it'll help y'all. Y'all know me, man. I don't be trying to charge y'all for this information. I just tell y'all what I did. This could be, hey, this could be bad information. This could be good information. I'm just telling y'all what helped me go from like terrible at negotiating to like I think I'm like a really good negotiator now, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just want to show you guys a couple pairs. We don't gotta stay in here though. We're gonna go back out to the main room, to the living room. But yeah, so right now we're gonna play a couple clips for you guys. It's gonna be some live negotiating footage of me just getting good deals, you know what I'm saying, from other resellers and stuff. And I'm gonna, right after that, after y'all watch that them clips, I'm gonna be sitting down right here and I'm gonna just be telling y'all exactly what I did to get better at negotiating. So stay tuned. For these, I'm at 1100 cash. Just cause none of them are really in clean condition, but there's some value left in them. Right?
Yeah.
And these, I can't pay high at all for these.
No, yeah, I feel
yeah, these are being the laces.
The laces, yeah, I feel that.
250, 240 would have been my highest just to get this, but if I'm gonna get everything, I value in my life. Cause like, it's like the condition of them is just,
yeah.
It's not really like, I can't sell these for more than 240, 250. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to. Cause I want people to get a good deal, and I don't want them to be like, man, I paid 300 and you know the insoles. So yeah.
This whole y'all hyping up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want none of that. Yeah, so like, I got these priced at like, I get all of them like 200 each for these. I'm not even gonna lie to you. These are dirty. So like, because I know how these look like BS, and like compared like to sell them, I can't price these over 200 because people will be like, bro, that's not a steal. Like those are big. Yeah. So I got those at 160. These I have like $50. So I'll probably pass on. So I'll probably pass on those. These I could do 300. Cause these look they just look worn. Yeah. So yeah, most of these used ones, cause like stuff like the cracking and like stuff like that. Yeah. Probably be like, if I take all of them, probably like 40 each for a lot of them, to be honest.
I got them for free, so I wasn't complaining.
Oh, I feel you that shit at that point. I mean, at that point, I'll give you 10.
Alright, I'll take it.
I mean, we'll run 10 for these then. That's great. What you looking at for both of these?
I could let them go for like 80 each.
80 each?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that for these.
Bro, I'll go 50. I'll just break even on them.
50 each?
Yeah.
So like 100?
Yeah.
Do 80 for both of them and I'll take them.
You do 90?
I'll do 80. I do, but 40 probably most I pay for these.
Alright, that works.
320.
You around 40?
30.
Alright, I got you.
250? 250 on these? 150. Okay.
Yeah, 350.
Oh, 350. These, I couldn't do that. These all got the boxes?
These I could do like 350.
Bro, I think that these, I was gonna offer like 260 because these are kind of messed up.
Yeah, they're beat, but I'm getting it off this, so.
I feel you. I could do like, I would do like 100, 240 each, and 280.
I can't even do 280 on
Cause like these, bro, this is a big flaw. I don't know.
Yeah, they're hella beat, but you're reselling them, right?
Yeah. Well, these particular, I probably keep. These I resell, but I don't have these yet. So I probably keep these. Cause I don't really care too
I'm
much.
trying to find someone who's gonna like rock them, bro. That's the thing.
I feel you. So you couldn't do, what, 260 each, 100?
I can't do 260 each.
How much do you want for these, bro?
350, because these are going for like 370. That could be
350?
either more beat, yeah. I'll show you right now.
What's up with y'all, man? What's up? Yeah. How y'all big?
I got you. Hey, how much you want this one for? Hey, tell. $50?
Got my tax. You do 100 on these?
DJ Chris cuts.
I got off for 150 for those.
You turned it down?
Yeah, I'm trying to do 150.
Shout out to Gigas Tacos, man. Make sure you check them out before they sell out.
So what's the best you can do for all of them?
Taco on the menu, the GAF taco. Make sure you ask about it. Delicious.
I'm sticking with 350 on these. These I could do. If you're picking up both of these, I could do 120. These I want at least like 3.
They're DS, right? What size is these?
But I don't even think I saw them at these. That's only for picking them up.
Do 3 on these. These are the box, right? I can do 3 on these. I can't do 350. That's too high. I don't even sell them at 350 myself. But I'll do 3. 100. I'll do 400. Actually, I'll do.
Hello beat. 370.
Yeah, but that's just somebody post. That didn't sell. They're not going for that price, bro. That's just somebody
They're
post.
on there too.
True. Yeah. Like 300. That'd probably be my best offer. I could do 300, 100. I'll do 110 on these, and then I eat 3 on these too. So 210, so 710. Those I can only do 250, bro. That's a big flaw. That takes the value down a lot from a normal user. Yeah. I don't mind passing on those. They too deep.
Lowest I'll do on these is like 340.
340? Alright. Alright, straight then. I'm good. I'll be back around if you change your mind, bro.
In terms of negotiating, if I had to say the first thing that led towards me doing better at negotiating and doing better at getting good deals, I would have to say is confidence. This is probably an underrated thing that people don't talk about much when it comes to negotiating, is that one of the main things you need to have when negotiating is confidence to speak to people. Because when I first started doing sneaker meetups, a lot of times, you know, I'm just a young kid, you know what I'm saying, with, you know, that I'm either meeting up with somebody, like walking there, or I'm pulling up in, like, you know what I'm saying, just a little car, and I just feel like I'm a young kid and I'm meeting up with like grown men sometimes back in the day, you know what I'm saying? So like, I used to feel like not as confident to tell them that I can't do that price or this and that. I used to just, it's kind of like, I don't know what you would call it, but I would just say it's not being confident enough, and I would just be like, it would make you impulse buy stuff because you're meeting other people and stuff like that. Sometimes you're not confident enough to speak to other people and say how you really feel to other people. You know, you might mess up and buy something that you shouldn't even buy, but it's because you don't have the confidence to speak up and be like, nah, bro, like, I don't want it for this much. I could do this much or blah, blah, blah. So you gotta I say you have to do whatever it takes to get confident enough to say what you mean and not have any type of regrets about it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff for me, it came from meditation. I had to start like meditating and really getting right with myself and realizing like, bruh, you a bitch. Like you gotta boss up and like, you know what I'm saying? You know, really know what you're talking about and not sway. Sometimes I just meet with somebody back in the day and just be like, you know what I'm saying? Let me think. I can't think of an exact moment where this happened, but I know there was times where like I would meet up with somebody. I can give y'all an example. I would meet up with somebody, right? The pictures say don't match up to what I expected, right? So I tell someone I could do 150 on these Toros, right? Toro 4, Jordan 4s, right? I get there, the Toros are way more beat than I expected them to be. And then he doesn't tell me that it's a rep box, right? Now, if you're not confident enough to speak up and be like, yo, these honestly, bro, like these don't really look like the pictures. I know we agreed on 150, but I can't do that. I'd probably be more around like 80 for these. Nowadays, I've been learned this stuff. So, you know, I'll tell somebody quick. I'll be like, cause I'm gonna keep my money in my pocket. Like I'm not going to just give somebody 150 because we had a deal and I'm worried that they might think this or that. I don't care what they think now. But before, when I did, I was the type of guy where like, if we agreed on 150, I'm gonna just be like, I don't want him to think I'm lame. I don't want him to think I'm a flake, blah, 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 blah. And then now I'm paying 150 for a shoe that deep down I know I can't sell for more than 150 because it's not as clean as I thought they were in the pictures. So confidence is a big part of things. For me, my confidence came up big time from meditating. I started meditating. Just meditating for me was just sitting there with my thoughts, thinking for real, and not bullshitting myself. Like I would just be extremely real with myself. I would sit there and think stuff through. And that was one thing that I had to be real with myself. I was like, bruh, you need to speak up. Like, if somebody said it has OGL and I get there and there's no box, I need to speak up and let them know I can't pay this, you know, blah, 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 blah. And that has helped me. Like, I could talk about meditating for a long time because that helped me with a whole bunch of stuff, just in general, just being a better person and, you know, maturing into a man and stuff like that. So I would say confidence is one of the most important things you need to have when negotiating with people. You know, another thing that ties into confidence is that you have to realize that there are millions of deals out there. Like, you don't need that deal. Every deal is like that. You don't need any deal, bro. You only need the deal if it's worth it. If it's not worth it, you don't need that deal. You don't need to just have that frame of mind, that thinking where it's just all like, I mean, I could just see, you know what I'm saying? I'll just take the gamble because I'm already here, this and that. You need to realize that you don't need any deal unless it's the right deal for you, basically. So a lot of times now, I'll go to a meetup, dude will have a bunch of shoes. Like I said, now it's easier for me because I've learned this stuff the hard way from losing a lot of money, you know what I'm saying, and getting scammed or something like that. I'll go to a meetup now, and his person can bring 4 or 5 pairs of shoes. All 5 shoes could be just, he could just want too much for them to where it doesn't make sense for me to buy them. I'll literally drive out there and just be like, yeah, I'm sorry, bro, I don't mean to waste your time, but I can't buy any of these for these prices, bro. Like, I thought this or that, or like, I thought you'd be able to come down lower, like you said, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I'll easily leave a meetup now and I'll keep my money in my pocket because it's not worth it to make those mistakes, you know what I'm saying? It's always better to be safe than sorry. And a lot of times you get there to a meetup and you just don't want to be, you know, you just don't want to be that guy who flaked, or you don't want to, you know, you care so much about what the other dude is thinking that you make a decision, a rash decision, and buy something on impulse. Now you just spent $600 at this meetup in your home and you're like, dang, I just spent $600 on these shoes that I can't, there's no way I can flip for more than $600, you know what I'm saying? So you have to always remember that you don't need any deal. You can pass on anything. You know what I'm saying? I pass on stuff so much, y'all. I pass sometimes if it's even $10. But it's not because I'm cheap or something like that. It's that I know there's better deals out there. So I'm not going to settle for a weak deal just because I either want that shoe or whatever the reason is. I'm not settling. I'll just tell somebody no. And I'm not lying about it either. I'm not trying to play with their head and be like I'm going to just say no until he says yes. Like, no. I genuinely, if somebody has some Charlotte Bobcat 10s, and he wants 100, I genuinely know I'm only paying 40 for those. You know what I'm saying? If they're used, I'm only paying 40. And I'm not saying 40 just and saying I'm only paying 40 just so like he can come down to my price. I'm saying that because that's genuinely all I would invest. So if he can't do 40, I'll keep it pushing. Like I'm not gonna be no asshole. I'm not gonna be like, bro, like this or that. Like you know that these aren't worth it. I'm not saying none of that. I'm literally gonna tell him I could do 40. If he can't do 40, I'm just gonna leave and I'm gonna just go to the next meetup, or I'm gonna just not buy the shoes. Now, don't get this confused with being an asshole. You don't have to be an asshole lowballer. I know I'm not an asshole lowballer. I lowball people, but only if it's a shoe that's worth lowballing. If the shoe is not worth that much money, I'm not gonna offer high, and I don't care what they think, because I'm still a nice guy about it. At the end of the day, I'm like, because y'all gotta remember, nobody likes the asshole lowballer. Nobody likes the $40 take it or leave it. Like $40 take it or leave it. Like, you know what? Like, nobody likes that guy. So you gotta be like, you gotta be cool still. Like, bro, like I just tell him straight up, like, look, bro, there's nothing against you. I'm no disrespect to you, but I could only invest 40 in those, or I just wouldn't consider it a smart investment for me. And that's what I say. And I'm being 100% honest with them. But I'm also just a cool ass dude. I'm not trying to be an asshole to nobody, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want no one to be an asshole to me. So I just don't act like that. And that's just something that more people should understand, you know what I'm saying? Another thing. When you're lowballing someone, realize who you're talking to most of the time. Like, if you're trying to buy off a reseller, you're normally wasting your time trying to lowball them or trying to, you know, convince them to go a lot lower than their asking price. You're normally wasting your time. I would tell you, you're better off like getting steals for like really low. You want to search for collectors. You want to search for people that maybe are collect shoes and they're willing to let go of a couple pairs. Maybe people who aren't too savvy into the market. Maybe somebody who just doesn't really care about sneakers like that, you know, that has, you know, some extra pairs laying around or something. Or like at a garage sale or thrift or anything like that. There's stuff, you can find steals there, of course, but that's for a different video because that's not even about negotiating really. But if you're trying to get stuff for the low, you don't want to hit a reseller. You don't want to focus on like, oh, I'm going to just hit this reseller. I'm going to DM this reseller, DM that reseller. You're going to be sad. You're just going to lowball over and over and you're not going to get any responses. Because especially if it's a reseller that already has clientele, they don't need your lowball, bro. Like I know a lot of resellers that have crazy clientele to where like they're gonna make their bread, they're gonna flip their shoes. They don't want your lowball offer so you can flip the shoes. But all resellers do the same thing, yes. But I would tell you, of course, sometimes there's a time that a reseller will give you a steal, and there are times that resellers just sell stuff for low. I try to sell stuff for low myself, but I know how much I pay for a shoe and I know how much profit I want. So if I pay $220 for a shoe, market is 3 something, and I'm selling it for $260 or $270, I'm not even gonna respond to someone that offers me $230 or something like that, because I know how much lower than market my post already is, and I already have the clientele to sell it. So you're wasting your time trying to lowball me or lowball any other reseller like that. If you go to a sneaker event, you don't want to look at the dude's table with all these shoes that he, you know, is like, he's obviously a reseller type shit. He obviously knows the market, and lowball him. He's gonna be like, bro, you don't see all these shoes? Like, I can move these. I'm not gonna take your lowball. But if you go to shoe with somebody, they got all their personals out, you know, that you can tell they collect. Everything is their size, then that's different. Now you can probably work out a good bulk deal and, you know what I'm saying, negotiate with them to get, you know, the price lower. So you just got to pay attention to stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? That stuff makes a big difference when negotiating. You got to realize who you're negotiating with. Like, resellers are not as, you know, they're a little more stingy on the low balls, which makes sense because a lot of them, you know, that's how they paying their bills. So it's like, bro, like, you might as well go to someone who has a job and just is selling shoes just to get rid of them, just for extra space. People that are selling shoes for extra space are going to be much more lenient negotiating than someone who's making a living, you know, making their 30, 40 profit or 60, 80 profit on every shoe, however much it may be. But that's another really important tip. Like I said, you always got to realize when negotiating that you never want to get emotionally attached to one shoe. You never want to like if you're on offer, say you're doing OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace, right? You're working on local deals from OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace. You got 2 guys who have bulk deals, right? And they both, you know, are pretty firm, like they're not really budging, right? Like they're not budging, and you're just trying, and you're just lowballing, or you're not even just lowballing, you're just offering, and they're just not budging. Like they're just like, nah, bro, like I'm not really interested in going down that low. They just, whatever they say, you're wasting your time by being so emotionally invested in that deal. And then if you just keep going, then say you impulse buy, you probably won't even get that good of a deal. You gotta really feel the vibes of these deals and be like, he doesn't seem like he's gonna give me a steal. He's not trying to work out a good deal. It's a dub, on to the next. And if you don't have that mentality that it's like, oh, I don't need his deal, on to the next. I don't need that deal, on to the next. You're slowing yourself down big time, like big time. And I used to do that. So that's why I'm telling you, I used to get emotionally invested into one deal, and it was just a waste of time. By that time, I could have made 3 or 4 other deals that would have made me more profit that I'm like begging this guy for, you know what I'm saying? So that's that's something you guys need to keep a focus on, is like, it's okay to pass. Like, it's always okay to pass. Feel the vibe, feel the energy of the conversation. If the energy is like, oh, he's feeling like disrespected by your low balls and stuff, it's okay to pass. It's just not this. Sometimes it's just not meant to be a deal. Don't force it. It's not meant to be. If it's not meant to, if y'all aren't meant to make a deal, it's not gonna happen. And if you force it, it's probably, you're just gonna force something that you're gonna regret, basically. So I would tell you to stay away from that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think, what other good tips do I got for you guys? By the way, I forgot to mention this. We are gonna answer 3 questions from the comment section of the last video. I know there's some good questions down there, so I'm gonna answer those for sure. After this, but let me think. I want to make sure I cover all the tips that really helped me. Oh, okay. Another thing when negotiating is like, when you're looking at used sneakers, you want to look at the flaws. You want to really look at the flaws, and you want to, like, for me, like I said, I don't try to be an asshole about it. So, for example, what I would do, hold on, let me go get some shoes real quick. I would just grab a pair real quick. You just stay right there. You don't even got to stop it because there's some shoes right here. Alright. So look, these are sold already. But like, say dude brings me these black cats, right? These some black cat 4s, size 7 wide. If I'm negotiating for these, first thing I'm gonna point out is they got rep box. You know what I'm saying? I don't lie to people at meetups. I don't try to finesse them or say anything that's like, I'm not trying to trick anybody at meetup. I let them know exactly what it is. Somebody brings me these black cats, I'm gonna tell them, look, I'm buying to resell. So every little thing that decreases the value matters to me, and that's gonna play a part into my offer. That's what I tell people when I'm literally buying off them, because I'm being 100 with them, and I'm being nice about it because I'm a nice guy, and like I said, no one wants to do business with the asshole lowballer, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be like, man, these got red box, bro, like that decreases the value a little bit. I'm gonna really look at them, I'm gonna be like, bro, there's some scratches on the suede right here. Like, I'm gonna really pay attention to everything, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just lowballing them just like there's no reason. I'm gonna let them know, like I'm gonna be like, look bro, like there's these stains right here. Like I'm gonna let them know. This one has the Jordan on the insole, but sometimes I point out the Jordan on the insole is gone, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that matters. I would point out this has no star loss, so you know, the person would get more from me, because if this has star loss, like if these stars were like shaved off basically from so much wear, my offer would be $20, $40, nah, probably $60 less if it has star loss, you know what I'm saying? And that's just something I learned from experience, because I bought shoes that I thought were clean that have star loss, right? And then I try to sell them, and that's the main thing I'm getting. I'm just getting straight comments, bro. The star loss is crazy. Can you go lower? The star loss of this, the star loss of that. So then I realized people care about star loss. That's why I'm telling y'all, I'm learning this stuff from experience and just sharing with y'all what I learned through my experience. That's something I learned, that people actually care about the star loss. So now if I see a shoe with star loss, I'm offering less. Like, simple. There is no, I'm not gonna even tell somebody, like no one can tell me like, oh, it's clean on the upper though, this or that. I'll literally tell them like, my customer's not paying that. Like I'd have to be lower because of the star loss, you know what I'm saying? That's just being real with them. And that's something that is a good tool for negotiating, is like pointing out flaws. If there are, you know, real flaws, you want to point them out and let them know like, this is why you can't pay their price. This is why you have to go down lower, you know what I'm saying? Another tip that, you know, is not talked about often is you have to look at the demand of a sneaker too. Like those that I just showed you, those black cats, those are high demand right now. That's not a bad pair to buy for like $2 something, you know what I'm saying? I think I paid like $210 or whatever. It's not bad to pay for those because they're in demand right now. So even though it's rep box, it's okay because they're in demand. Now they could be a whole another pair of Jordan 4s. Those are Jordan 4s, but those are black cats. It could be another pair of Jordan 4s, but they could be DS or anything, but they could be a colorway that's not in demand. So you have to pay attention to what's in demand, and you can explain this to the person you're buying from. I would tell them straight up, like, look, man, this is not a product that people want right now, and I'm buying to resell. So I couldn't pay that price, because in order to make this attractive to my customers, I would have to have a low enough price for someone to want it, because this item is not something people are going after. This is an item that is not selling well at all. That means it's not in demand if it's not selling well, you know what I'm saying? If it's in demand, it's like a mocha. It's like it's selling really well. Like everybody wants mochas, you know what I'm saying? So that's being 100. That's really good advice. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That's probably something that people put in books and stuff like that. Like, that's good advice. Like, stuff that's in demand is not worth as much. That is. So you can use that to your advantage when negotiating. And another thing, like I said, going back to like confidence, you know, stuff like that. If somebody doesn't understand that, or they take offense to it because I'm reselling or something like that, I hope they don't hear it on the camera. This dude out here using a leaf blower by my door. But if they take offense to that, here's the thing. I don't care. Like, if they do, I don't care. Like, I'm literally just gonna be like, all right, then I won't buy from you. By the time he could be caring or like being sick that I didn't do the deal, all that stuff. By the time that I'm in the car, I'm already looking for the next deal. That should be the mindset. That's how I was when I was really doing sneaker meetups, like on the daily. Back when I was buying, like I said, like one shoe at a time. You know what I'm saying? If somebody didn't want to do the deal, I'm not going to force them, pressure them, try to convince them, talk them into it. I don't have time for any of that. If God wants me to make the deal, he gonna make it happen. And if it's not happening, I'm just gonna go on to the next one, because that's a clear sign to me. If someone feels offended by that or anything like that, it's not for you to worry about them. It's not for you to argue with them. You know what I'm saying? It's not for you to let your ego take over and like start a conflict with them. Like, all that shit is childish. I know there's some children watching this, but like, I'm coming from a mindset where like I had to mature a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, I live on my own, I do everything on my own. Like, I don't have time for a lot of that childish shit. And arguing over shoes and stuff is childish. And some people do that. Some people really hate resellers. And like, I've had bulk deals where like, I tried to tell, this dude had like a whole bunch of, he had like 8,000 worth of Jordans laid on the floor, right? I hit him up on Facebook. I'm like, yo, like, I'm interested in buying all these. He tells me off rip, mind you, I'm saying I'm interested in buying every pair. I don't know if he thought I was lying or whatever, but he tells me off rip, look, bro, I'm not interested in going down on any of my prices for you to make profit, or so that to look out for your profit. He was like, that's not something I'm interested in doing. So if that's what you want to do, it's just not going to work out. The prices are firm or something like that. So I'm like, okay, good luck selling your $8,000 worth of shoes to someone who just completely agrees to the price. You know what I'm saying? All his shoes used, worn, all this shit. Value's way lower than he's putting them at, posting them at. But I could tell he does not, he's mildly a collector or something. He does not like resellers, because his first thing was like, bro, I have absolutely zero interest in leaving room for you to make profit off of these sneakers. And I just told him, okay, never talk to him again. Literally. I wonder if I could find, I might be able to find it on my Facebook, because I don't be on Facebook that much anymore. But then, you know what I'm saying? Like, even just stuff like that, like, I could have really kept trying to convince him, because he had a lot of shoes that would have been a good, it would have been a good way to spend like six point something thousand, because that's probably how much his shoes was worth. But like, when I tell you, he had zero interest in looking out for it to get me a better deal or anything like that. You might have to cut this out real quick, because it's it might take a little second. But I just want to see if I can find this, just so they know I'm not cap. Doesn't look like I can find it. Alright, so just, yeah, skip that little empty blank part. But All right, so I couldn't find that specific deal I was talking about, but this I have another good example I can show you guys real quick. So look, remember I was telling y'all you never want to be that asshole lowballer. How much did he want? I don't know how much this dude wanted, but he wanted more than I was willing to pay. And he said, shoot me an offer, we could talk. So I said 800 for both. I think he wanted 1,000 for both for these particular shoes. I said 850. Look how I'm negotiating. Even though he said 850 would be my best, because I want to be able to sell for pretty low. But if you can't take it, I understand. But just let me know if you change your mind, and I'll always be cash ready, no flake. Appreciate you, boss. Yeah, you gotta make your money too, you feel me? Real one for that. See, he cool. He cool. And he understood he appreciated my honesty. Firstly, you can tell from his response. I'm just like, I'm telling him 100, like, I can't pay that high because I don't want to sell high. I'm not trying to tax exactly how much market is. I want to sell somebody a steal because it's good for business to make your customer happy. And people are happy when they get stuff for a good price. So it's simple business, really. And I tell him that, he said, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. You got to make your money too. You know what I'm saying? He's cool about it. Some people some people aren't like that. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't feel that way, which is cool too. Everyone's, you know what I'm saying, entitled to their own opinions. I'm just not going to worry about it. When I'm negotiating, I'm just letting them know the truth. And if they can't do it, that's fine. On to the next. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's about the best I could give y'all right now off the top of my head. Like, that's I can't think of anything else you need to greatly improve negotiating. But you gotta, like, I had to realize that it doesn't matter how as long as be a nice guy. Like I said, don't asshole lowball, because you don't want to get into no beef or conflict over shoes. That's stupid. But you have to not care at the same time. Like, you can't care what they think about your offer. You can't second guess if you should offer what you actually want to pay because you think it might hurt their feelings or you think it might upset them. If you do that, you're gonna miss out on a lot of steals, because there's been a lot of time when I started realizing that, and I started not caring and realizing most of the people that you do meetups with, you're never gonna see again. And if you do see them, like I said, if you're a nice guy, it won't be an issue. It won't be no problem. You'll see them and probably just say, what's up? I remember I told you about some shoes from me. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta know that you can miss out. You're missing on a lot of steals if you're second guessing if you should offer what you really want to offer because you're worried about their feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people I've offered, and they either come all the way down to my price or they meet me very close. And if they don't, like I said, you're on to the next. God knows what you're trying to do. And if you're being a good person and living like shit, I put God first. So I'm always trying to be a good person. Now I know that might not be everybody watching this video, but if you're doing that, God gonna look out and he gonna send you the steals that you need. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows what you're working at. He knows that you're trying to resell. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you think God don't know, you tweaking. He knows. So like, he gonna look out and you gonna get them steals. Just don't worry about them ones that aren't meant to be, and do your best to really say what you feel. You know what I'm saying? And don't worry too much about, you know, if you hurt somebody's feelings or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Stay confident. You know what I'm saying? Worst case scenario, they get a little sad. They get upset because they're freaking, I don't know, have low self-esteem or something and can't talk to people, and they get upset because you lowball or you're lower than they want. Oh well, they can go be upset for the rest of their day. You'll be straight because you know that since they didn't take your offer, this wasn't a deal that was meant for you to make. And then you on to the next. And then you do that over and over and over and over again. And you'll realize that, like, dang, I really stopped overpaying on shoes now. Like, you'll realize you're not overpaying that much no more. You'll realize you're making way more profit and getting way better steals, even if it's a slower freaking process. Like, okay, maybe you're not getting as many shoes per day, but the shoes you are getting now, you're making good profit on it. You're getting quick sales. That's what happened for me. So that's what I'm telling y'all, because that's exactly how it happened for me. And then ever since then, I started actually growing as a reseller. I stopped buying shoes for the wrong reasons. And you know what I'm saying? I started actually making, you know, good progress. But you know what I'm saying? You gotta be ready for that slow. Like, you might listen to my advice, and the first 2 days of you doing it, you might not get one single pair. That could be a test, but you gotta stick through it and then keep going, and eventually it might take a week. You're gonna get like a crazy bulk deal or something, and it'll be all low and it'll be worth it. And that's what happened to me. So I know it can happen to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because when I made this change, right before I end this and go to the questions, when I made this change, all this mindset shift, that came from really becoming, for me, like meditating and getting closer to God and stop lying to myself and like really being a real nigga, I guess, you know what I'm saying? Once I realized this, literally like 3 days went by, no deals for real. People were just saying no, blah, 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 blah. Then a day went by, I got one deal, okay. Another few days go by, no deals. When I used to just buy shoes every day, but I used to lose money on some shoes and make dumb purchases. So at that point, I got like 2 pairs that week, right? I'm still on my shit though. I'm still staying focused. I'm not capping to nobody. I'm keeping it real, but I'm only offering prices that I know for a fact I can sell for under market and sell fast. And then out of nowhere, dude hits me back on Facebook and he's like, yo, I could do that, bro. Like I just got back from the military. I'm trying to get rid of all my shoes like in one day. So if you could take them all off me in one day, that'd be really convenient for me, bro. I can meet up anywhere. I meet up with bro. This video went viral on TikTok. You can look it up on my TikTok. I got Wave Runners for 100. I got Gym Reds for 100. I got Gym Red 9s for 50. I mean Gym Red 9s for 50. Inertia Yeezy 700 for $100. Now mind you, these shoes all go for 300. Like, you know what I'm saying? 300 plus. Wave Runners go for 500-600 plus. They were all clean and I got them for $50 each. The Wave Runners and the Inertias $100. And I knew that was God. I was just like, bruh, like God got me right after, you know what I'm saying, I really was on my shit, you know what I'm saying? And that bulk deal alone, I like tripled my money. And then from then on, reselling and TikTok and everything has just been, I also, if you don't know, I post footage of me negotiating on TikTok. That's what I do on TikTok and stuff like that. And that bulk deal alone made an incredible difference. You know what I'm saying? So take that information with what you will. You know what I'm saying? Hope that can give you guys some insight into maybe something that can help you guys in your journey reselling or whatever. Now we're going to pick out these questions and I'm going to answer them for you guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode.
First question. How did you get so good at legit checking? Is it just from time spent on looking at shoes? Question mark. And that's from Alfonso.
All right, so there's two ways that you get good at legit checking. For one, it's time spent looking at shoes. It's the fact that I've bought over probably 2,000 Jordan 1s, definitely over 1,000 Jordan 4s, and definitely over 1,000 Jordan 11s. Most people, like if you start reselling, you probably bought like under 20 or 50. So just think about, well, even if you just started reselling, it could be under 20, you know what I'm saying, of just Jordan 11s and Jordan 1s. Now, that's a lot, to be honest. Like I can confidently say I bought over 2,000 pairs of Jordan 1s in my whole life and reselling career. I can confidently say it about Jordan 4s and Jordan 11s. So that alone, I feel very confident legit checking some 4s, like, or 11s or Jordan 1s. Like I don't feel like sometimes they get by me because I buy so many of them, but for the most part, I look at them and I'm just like, bro, I've seen this pair, 100 times. So, and when something looks off, you could just tell it's off because of my experience. Like I said, I've seen the pair 100 times. It's like, I've held a pair of Court Purples over 100 times. So like, once I feel a fake pair, I can kind of mess around with it, press on the toe box, mess with the tongue, smell it. Like, a lot of stuff will just like be off if it's fake, to me. So for me specifically, since I've always chose to invest a lot into Jordan 1s, Jordan 4s, Jordan 11s, and Nike basketball shoes. And I don't think I've ever gotten a fake pair of Nike basketball shoes. Have I? Nah. But and Nike foam posits. I feel like I can legit check any pair. Like I don't think a fake pair of foams is really gonna get by me because even when I was flipping like cheap shoes, I was really on the foam posits. So like, I've touched a bunch of pairs of those. So that alone has helped me a lot in legit checking, those specific shoes. But those are the only shoes that I can honestly say, just off pure experience, I know I can legit check them, you know what I'm saying? But the other way to make sure you get good at legit checking is to slow down when buying and actually do your research. There's been times where like I seen a deal that was good to be, not too good to be true, but a really good deal. And in order to make sure, I had to tell the person like, yo, can you just like hold these for me for a second? I'm gonna go like do a little bit of research on this shoe, but I'm down to buy them. And then they hold them or whatever. I'll literally watch a 30-minute video informational video, and I'll study this video. And then after watching that video, I go back and look at the shoe, and I just trust my intuition. And I look at the shoe, and I'm just like, if everything seems like it checks out and nothing's off, like, and nothing that they talked about in the video comes up, I'm probably gonna, if my intuition tells me like, bruh, like I honestly feel good about buying this, like I don't feel nervous like this could be fake, then I'm gonna buy it. But if I watch a video and it points out a lot of things, right, and then I go look at the shoe again, or I'm comparing the shoe, and I'm just like, most of this stuff checks out, but this one thing they say in the video is very prominent right here on the shoe. And my intuition is telling me, my intuition, I mean like that gut feeling you have. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, my gut is telling me like, I don't know, like me saying, I don't know, like that means I feel nervous about buying it. Like basically, that's what that means. So like, if I feel like that when I'm looking at a shoe, say I'm looking at some freaking bread toe Jordan 1s or something like that, and I'm just like, looking at the video, and I'm like, on the video it says that the tongue is supposed to be this way. I'm looking at the tongue and they don't match up. I'll be like, oh, but everything else looks clean. I don't even go through that. Like that little, like pay attention to like that little mind shift to being like, but everything else looks like it checks out. If I hear myself saying that in my head, I don't buy the shoe, because there shouldn't be a, but this is the only thing. If your mind tells you like, oh, or if you're talking about it, you're like, oh, I mean, everything else checks out, but this thing right here doesn't, to me, I'm just not risking. I'm not going to say that means it's fake, but if I have that thought, I'm not risking it, because I'd rather be safe than sorry, because it's like, it's just not worth it. I feel like, for me personally, I'd be feeling like that's a sign from God, or else I wouldn't have thought that. Like, that thought wouldn't have popped in my head that thing looks off. Like, you know what I'm saying? God wouldn't have told me to look at the video and then match it up and be like, that looks off, if it wasn't actually something off. So I'm just not going to risk it when it comes to situations like that. But, like, so legit checking is basically, I would chalk that up to literally experience and research. You got to slow down sometimes when you're buying your shoes and do research. You can't quick legit check stuff. If you really don't know, watch a video, read an article, you know, so you can feel like you know about it. And once you feel like you know, look at the shoe again and see, you know what I'm saying, trust your intuition. That's the best I can tell you for that, though. Next question.
What about Alfonso?
That was Alfonso?
Yeah.
Hope that helped you out a little bit, Alfonso.
Next one is from Jasmine Anderson. She said, what's the best way to get a source for shoes? These sneaker bots take everything before the shoes even drop.
What's the best way to get a source?
Yeah.
These sneaker botters take everything before it drops?
Yeah.
To be honest, you might not like this answer, but in this day and age, like, you probably gonna be paying resale. Like, you gonna have to put, like you're not wrong. The sneaker botters be taking everything. So you can either get a bot yourself and try to hit, which is always possible. There's a lot of bots that are not that expensive that you can at least get one pair. And if you want to get pairs after every release, I wouldn't say it's a bad investment. Like, you know, you could get a bot and try to just get one pair for personals per release. That's one way. Another way to source, I would say, go to all the Foot Lockers in your area, and whatever stores your shoes drops at, and try to develop a relationship with the workers there, and let them know, like, look, I'm just trying to get a personal pair at every release. You know what I'm saying? Was there any way? Like, just ask them, is there any way that you can help me make sure I get my size? Like, I know the resellers is eating up all these pairs, you know what I'm saying? And I would just say that's your best option, is maybe an employee can help you, but that you already, since you commented that, you already know the reality of it. And the reality of it is that there are some people with bots that are getting over 150 pairs of one sneaker release. So when that's happening, and then they're bulk selling these to resale stores, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the reality of what's happening behind the scenes. So with that being the reality, it's like you just kind of got to be real with it and just be like, look, if you don't know somebody if you don't know an employee who can hook you up every time, like every release, which a lot of people do that. Like, a lot of people are just collectors, and they get cool with the employees, and they just, you know, have someone who can help them get shoes for release, at least just one pair for their personal size. You know, that's about your best bet. Or find a good shoe plug who sells stuff for low and just pay a little bit of resale for they can for the convenience of it. Not bad, but for the convenience of it, because it is more convenient to just have a shoe plug. But yeah, you'll be paying a little bit over the market, over the retail price of the shoe. Like you said, that's what's happening. That's all it is.
It's about Jasmine.
All right, Jasmine, good luck.
The last question is, what's the most you've ever been scammed?
What's the most I ever been scammed? So like, how do you want me to answer? Do you think I should answer it like just total how much I think I may have been scammed, or like the one worst deal that I...
Both.
Oh, damn. All right. So total, I know for a fact I've been scammed at least $5K. At least $5,000 worth. I've been scammed. At least. That
Damn,
it's
how
probably
long you
more
doing
like
this?
6, huh?
How long you been doing this?
Probably like 2 years.
Damn, I suck. I've been scammed like, well, 2, half of that.
Like 2,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One deal on 2.
But I am saying at least. I know for a fact it's more than 5. It could be 7 or 8.
Oh,
I just know.
at least 5.
Yeah, no, at the very least.
Sheesh.
5K.
Probably
It's probably like, nah, it ain't that. It could be 10 though.
That'd be dope.
I don't think it's been 10 though. Well,
Sheesh.
I don't know, because remember when I had to give away that stack? Yeah, low key. Because I had that stack of some foods that people finessed me on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got, like, I was getting scammed way before, like, TikTok and everything like that, yeah. Probably, like, okay, I say at least 6 then. Probably, definitely 5, but at least 6K I've been scammed over. You know, this is a part of the game, though. Like, I've also spent, like, so much money on shoes these past 2 years that, like, 6K is not really a lot in comparison. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's like getting scammed. That's like if you got 100% of the money you make or something like that, 6% I say is like 6%. They could take the 6% charges to the game. You know what I'm saying? And the worst pair, the biggest pair I've ever been scammed on. Ooh, I don't even want to talk about it. That shit made me so sick, bro. I was dumb though. I was dumb. This is when I first started reselling, y'all. I bought some off-white MCAs, bro. Off-white MCAs, the light blue Air Force Ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Bruh. When I first started reselling, this is before I started meditating and I started just like not caring about anything and just being on my grind. Before I had that mentality, I was just so like pressed about like, oh, I just want to be the shoe plug and I want to be, you know, I want to, you know, be able to post. I want people to see I got the most limited shit, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. Mind you, this is crazy. When I wanted to be like, when I wanted that so much, nothing was going right for me. Like I was just selling I was just going bad. Like it was just bad. Like I would just get finessed. I would lose money so much, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I was so thirsty for this image of being some shoe plug. And it's crazy how it wasn't until I gave up all of that shit and just said, bruh, I'm gonna just literally do whatever God tells me that I should do and just just try to be the best person I could be and really live for God and realize that none of that stuff matters. You know what I'm saying? Like being popular, being the shoe plug, having an image, I don't care about any of that stuff no more. And it's crazy how when I developed that mindset, I literally started blowing up on TikTok and then YouTube starts doing better. And I started making sales easily and blah, blah, blah. And now I can actually, present day, I can actually afford some of that crazy limited hype stuff that I was so pressed to afford. So I spent like my whole mind you, I was working 2 jobs all day, every single day, and reselling on my off time. And I literally probably made like $1,600-1,700 in a week and a half or so, maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, I say 2 weeks, like 1,600, right? I literally spent like 1,400 of that on some off-white MCAs, on grilled, because I'm thinking, oh, it's grilled. This gotta be real. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's legit, blah, 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 blah. Bruh, I buy these off-white MCAs, bruh. It takes my breath. I get these hoes. I'm like, they look straight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking they look clean, like they straight, you know what I'm saying? Bruh, I try to, mind you, at this point, I do think they're real at this point. Because I just didn't know. Like, this was early on before I got, like, really into the game and learning stuff by experience. Learning that stuff is too good to be true sometimes. So I'm thinking they're real, right? I'm keeping these hoes on ice. I'm thinking I'm just the hardest nigga out. Like, I got some all-white MCAs, blah, blah, blah. Try to sell them on GOAT. for $1,700. Thinking like, man, this easy. Like I just spent, what did I say, like 14 on these. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sell these for $1,700. I'm gonna make a quick 300, like easy. Like I'm really a sneaker plug out here. The shoes get delivered. Bruh says they're fake. Has all the proof in the world. Sends it to us. Mind you, proof that I didn't even know about this time. I was very uninformed and just didn't know what I was doing. This man sends the proof to Grailed or whatever. They take that money straight out my account, bruh. So it's just like I lose all the bread that I had, bruh. It was worse actually, because I spent $1,400 on the shoe, but for some reason they took $17 out of my account because that's how much I tried to sell it for. So I guess because I got $1,700, they took $1,700 back. So I didn't actually make $300. I lost $300. So that was tough. That was tough. That was definitely the biggest. That was the biggest L I took in getting scammed. But that's because, bro, I was young. I had a lot on the line. I was like, in my life, like at that point, I was kind of like facing this trial of like, okay, either I resell shoes for a living or I'm homeless. So I was kind of all in. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, bruh, I'm gonna make $300 off this. Like, I just thought you gotta take, a risk, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? So I bought those shoes for 14, sold them for 17, boom, had to refund the bruh. Didn't have a choice. They just took that shit straight out my bank account. So that was tough. But it's okay though, you live and you learn, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, the only time I'd get scammed now is if like I just be buying shoes in bulk sometimes, and like sometimes a little pair of fakes will get by me, but that doesn't happen often. I try to do a good job of legit checking everything, and if that does happen, like I said before, charge it to the game and keep it pushing. The way I see it, I was broke last year. I'm up now. I got way more shoes than I ever thought I'd have at this age. You know what I'm saying? I got way more business opportunities I ever thought I'd have at this age. So I'm just thankful. I praise God, and I'm happy that my life is the way it is. If I get scammed on something, it is what it is. Charge it to the game. Appreciate y'all for watching this video. I'm signing out.
Out of town, never saw her before. Told her, baby, we don't got that long. Listen, it's not my city show.